My grandmother left me her house. It was her final and what she called most cherished gift to me. My parents, who never got along with her, told me to sell it, but I couldn't. Not after she'd told me so many stories about growing up there, about the creaking floors, the drafty windows, the way the late afternoon sun hit the dusty wooden stairs just so. This house wasn't just a building. It was a part of our family's history, a living memory. And I mean that literally. The first month was great. I was a city boy, and the quiet of the rural countryside was a welcome change. I spent my days exploring the house, a sprawling old Victorian with a history that felt palpable in every room. I found old photo albums, my grandmother's meticulous diaries, and even a secret cupboard in the library filled with strange hand-carved wooden figures. It was a treasure trove of the past. The first sign that something was wrong was a sound, a low, rhythmic sound that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. It was like a soft hum, a deep, resonant vibration that I could feel in my chest. I'd listen for it at night, lying in bed, and it would lull me into a strange, dreamless sleep. I told myself it was the old pipes, the wind, or just my imagination. But then, the hum became a breath. It was subtle at first, a gentle inhale and exhale that was so quiet I could barely hear it. I'd sit in the living room, reading, and I would feel the house take a slow, deep breath and then release it, the air around me shifting just a little. It was unsettling, but not yet terrifying. The changes started after that. The house began to rearrange itself. One morning, I'd wake up to find a painting on the wall in a different spot, or a chair in the living room moved a few feet to the left. It was always small, and I'd always tell myself I was misremembering. But then it became more pronounced. I'd leave a book on the coffee table and find it on the bookshelf an hour later, its pages fanned open to a random page. I'd put my car keys on the counter and find them hanging on the hook by the door a few minutes later. It was as if the house was trying to be helpful, to put things where they belonged. My grandmother's diaries suddenly became my new obsession. I scoured them, looking for any mention of the house's strange behavior. I found it, buried in the later pages, written in her shaky, old woman script. She called the house the Resonator. She wrote about how it would sing to her when she was a child, and how it would move things for her, tidying up the rooms when she was feeling too tired to do it herself. She wrote about a room in the basement, a room she called the Heart, which she was never to open. She'd left me a key, a strange, ornate silver key that had a tiny symbol of a hand carved into the head. I went to the basement immediately. The air was cold and damp, and the rhythmic breathing of the house was louder down there, more visceral. I found the door she had described, a heavy iron door with a rusted lock. I put the key in, and it fit perfectly. I stood there for a long time, my hand on the cold iron, the breathing of the house a constant suffocating rhythm in my ears. I knew with a certainty that chilled me to the bone that whatever was on the other side of that door was the source of all the strangeness. It was the heart of this living, breathing house. And as I stood there, I heard a new sound. It wasn't the hum or the breathing. It was a soft, wet, sucking sound, as if something was being consumed. It was coming from inside the room. The house's breathing paused for a moment, and then, with a slow, deliberate inhale, the sound stopped. The air around me grew heavy, thick with a smell like wet earth and old blood. Then, the breathing started again, and this time, it felt different. It was faster, more urgent, and with each breath, I felt a strange sense of loss, as if a part of me was being pulled out, siphoned away. I ran upstairs, my heart pounding, and locked myself in my room. The next morning, I woke up feeling exhausted, my mind a foggy mess. I looked at my reflection in the mirror, and I saw it. The bags under my eyes were darker, deeper. My skin was pale, my face gaunt. It was as if a few years had been stripped from me overnight. The house seemed happier, though. The air was lighter. the rhythmic hum, a soft, contented purr. The rooms were impeccably clean, every object in its place. The house was breathing, and I realized with a sickening jolt that the house was breathing me. It wasn't just a house, it was a parasite. It was feeding on me, on my life force, on my very essence. My grandmother hadn't given me a home. She had given me a prison, a sacrificial lamb for a monster she had grown to love and cherish. I packed a bag, grabbed my car keys from the hook where the house had so thoughtfully placed them, and started to run. I didn't get far. The front door, which I had just unlocked, was now bolted shut. The windows, all of them, were locked and sealed. The house wasn't going to let me leave. I'm writing this from the library, the last room the house seems to leave me alone in. The breathing is getting louder now, and I can hear it in the walls around me. It's not a soft hum anymore. It's a deep, gurgling sound, a hungry, expectant sound. I can feel the house watching me, waiting. It's getting closer to the end of the day, and I can feel the life being drained from me. I'm fading, becoming a ghost in my own body. The house is hungry. I just heard a wet, sucking sound from the other room. The breathing has paused again. I'm afraid to look, but I know what it means. It's time for the house to eat again, and I'm its dinner. I just hope my grandmother's diary has a clue on how to open that door, because I have a feeling the house wants me to go down to the heart for the next meal. I'll update if I can, but I don't think I'll have much time left. Wish me luck.